At the start of 2025, I looked at the upcoming anime games of the year. I made a video on it, and while making that video, I became aware of a lot of anime games that weren't even on my radar. One of those games was Gal Guardian's Servants of the Dark. I cannot tell you why it looked appealing to me. Maybe I was just in the mood for a metroidvania, but since this game just came out, I decided to give it a go. So here we go. This is Gal Guardian's Servants of the Dark. So the game starts with the two main characters returning from vacation. These are servants of Demon Lord Maxim, and they are very horny for their Demon Lord. But as they arrive at the castle, they notice that it is on fire. We must hurry. If we don't learn these controls quick, we're in trouble. So this is a 2D Metroidvania, and it's pretty straightforward at the start. The gimmick to this game is the fact that you can freely switch between two characters. You have Kirika, who has a machine gun and has to reload her weapon once in a while, and you have Masha, who can mash the whip. Both characters can use a quick dash, and if one of them dies, the other one has to go to their body's location and push the soul back into it. Okay, there we go. I like that when you check the map, the character actually pulls it out physically in-game and runs around while looking at it. It's a cool touch. As you defeat enemies, they drop equipment. Each character can equip up to 2 weapons to use as skills. They spend their demon power, so you can't use them infinitely, but they're usually strong attacks that you can use in a pinch, like summoning a spider that just attacks for you, or swinging a big broadsword that just cuts enemies in half. I made my way through the castle, mainly playing as Masha. I just felt that she was a lot stronger at the start. Though admittedly, as I played more and more of the game, I found more uses for Kirika. There are enemies that she's just better at dealing with. But early on, it did piss me off that she has this shotgun attack. And the shotgun attack is great. It spends a lot of ammo, but it's a very strong attack. But the way you do it is by pressing both the attack button and the dodge button at the same time. So a lot of the times I would just dodge into enemies by accident. And it's not even necessary because there are a lot of free buttons on the controller. So I don't know why they went with this control scheme. But we make our way up to the castle where we find the first enemy that actually gave me some trouble. This dragon was not fun to fight against, especially because this is one of those games where even touching the enemy will cause you to take damage. And so naturally, after we defeat the dragon, we climb these stairs, and of course there's another one. I made it to the throne room where we finally find who's behind this attack. Masha's a bit slow. This first boss fight is tough. The head maid here killed me a bunch, but there was a lot of time between her attacks, so I was able to keep reviving and alternating characters. It was hard to deal any significant damage. I was slowly chipping away at her health bar, and eventually I did take the boss down, but I wonder if I was actually meant to lose this fight, since it all just ends in a draw in the cutscene. Anyway, turns out our Demon Lord isn't dead despite the fantastic pixel animation we just watched. He was able to escape with just his skull, and now we gotta gather his body back up, which is probably spread throughout all the demon realm, so let's start looking. The first zone we explore is a forest, and I found it to be a little frustrating because there's a bunch of jumps that you can almost make, but they are actually impossible because you just don't have double jump yet. But being this close is a bigger tease than any waifus that you put on screen. I also got lost for a good bit, though admittedly that was probably my fault. Anyway, I made it to the second boss of the game, who has a pretty interesting design. This second boss fight was super easy compared to the Head Maiden, as we were able to pull off some big combos with Masha, and so the fight wasn't even that long, but even if it was, this guy's attacks weren't too hard to dodge. Defeating this boss moves the plot forward quite a bit, as the boss drops the Demon Lord's bone. We found one of his bones, and also a servant soul, so let's return to the castle and see what this is all about. So the bones are what levels you up in this game. As you return them to your lord, your attack and HP go up, and every few levels you unlock new abilities, and I love that they didn't wait at all to give you double jump, you just get it right away. As for the servant souls, these are NPCs that lived in the castle, and now their souls are all out there. This soul belonged to Sophie's. She's basically an NPC that can change the difficulty of the game at any time. So these NPCs can actually unlock significant mechanics in game, and most of them are optional. You may completely miss them if you don't explore the areas enough. Later, I revived the head chef who gives you food that recovers your HP once in a while, a giant spider dude who sells you equipment, but most of it was useless to me, and also this guy, who maybe I shouldn't spoil for now. From this point on, even basic enemies can drop bones, giving you an incentive to kill as many as you see. I mean, so far, as long as you're good on equipment, you would literally get nothing from killing enemies. This would also allow you to grind in case you want to improve your stats and abilities quicker, but even without grinding on purpose, I got enough bones trying to get to the new area that I thought it could be worth it to return to the castle. And oh my god, we're just speedrunning this. We've unlocked a new Demon Lord ability already. This one is basically a heal on cooldown, so we're gonna be able to explore for longer without having to find a save point. Now, while we are able to teleport back to the castle on any save point, we are not able to teleport back into the world. So every time you return, you have to run through the whole forest again. I did run into a couple of interesting characters though. There's a demon that takes your coins and just vanishes. Still don't know what that's all about. There's a boat lady. Of course, her name is going to be Karen. She's your fast travel in this game, but she can only fast travel to other boats you've found. And since she's the only one we've found so far, I guess we're not going anywhere. But eventually we do make it to the Cursed Cavern, the second area of this game. Now, this cavern has a darkness gimmick that I thought was just terrible. Your demon lord shines very slightly, so it could be of use here, but it's always floating directly behind you. So in order to see ahead, you have to awkwardly run forward and then turn around, then wait for the head to go to its right place so it can kind of scan ahead of you. I hated it. I hated everything about this. That is until a random enemy dropped a lantern equipment, and now you can just have light next to you at any time. I was so mad. I can't believe this game has made me traverse darkness like this, and then there was just a random drop of a lantern that would fix all the dark areas. Well, it turns out it wasn't just random drops. There was a treasure chest next to the first dark area that had a guaranteed lantern inside of it. But how was I to guess that? The chest is also shrouded in darkness. Now equipped with a lantern, the rest of the area goes a lot smoother. I also found a new weapon called the Summoner's Sword, which basically just plays the game for you. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, but it also drains dragon power like crazy too. I didn't find any boss in this area. I did find this little guy trying to run away with the bone, so I had to shoot it to death, but he was right next to the entrance to this dragon castle. 奴の一族とは古の盟約を結んでいてな。矮小な一魔物に過ぎなかった奴らの祖に魔王の力を与えたのが我がご先祖なのだ。その時よりレッドドラゴン族は Playing in this castle, I'm getting all the right Castlevania vibes. The falling chandeliers, the fragile ground that falls beneath you, and even mimics? Nothing is safe anymore. This part was funny. There was a door switch that I activated, but I didn't know where the door was, so I climbed down and I found it. Finally, there it is, an open door. This floor ahead of us is fragile, but if we're quick, we can make it to the other side. Motherfuck. Yeah, they got me good. There's an auto scroll portion down here that was also giving me trouble, and so I decided to activate the summon sword, which should make things easier unless it decides to miss the enemy. Couple of tries later, we made it all the way through. We climbed the ruined castle, and we are finally able to talk to the castle's demon lord. Okay, this boss is ridiculous. First of all, it spews, I don't know, what is that? Oil? She has oil for saliva, and then she ignites it with her fire breath. Okay, so far, it's cool. But then when you go in for a punish, depending on where you hit her, you'll get jiggle animations on one or both of her boobs. This is the one boss that has a different hit animation depending on where you attack them. But the difference only applies to boobs. If you attack their head, they're both sitting still. This is where the devs decided to pay some close attention to detail. But just in case you weren't sure about the kind of game this is, if you stand right underneath her saliva as she spits it out, you get a trophy. 10 out of 10. This was about 3 hours of gameplay. After this, I was able to find a couple more soul servants. One of them was a mimic. He's basically storage. You can keep some items at the base so your inventory doesn't fill up. And another one was a Cavern. So finally, I can fast travel out of the castle too. But I'm really enjoying my time with this game. I love the pixel animation during gameplay and cutscenes. The art cuts are very high quality. The controls are super responsive. And so far, the game has given me some fun upgrades, and they're coming very frequently. I mean, it just gave me a triple jump after the dragon fight, by the way. My annoyances with the game are slowly disappearing one by one. I mean, a big one was being able to teleport to the castle, but not being able to teleport back. But now Cavern just fixes that. The first area was frustrating to explore because you couldn't reach any ledges, but now I have a triple jump, so I can reach pretty much everywhere I want unless I'm really not supposed to. And even though I didn't like the darkness gimmick in the cave, I did just explore 3 very distinct areas, each one with their unique gimmick. If the game keeps giving me unique gimmicks on each environment, and it keeps feeding me fun upgrades regularly, then it is a very good Metroidvania. Those are the big questions I would hunt the answers for if I was doing a full review for this, but so far, I'm super happy with what I played, and I definitely want to keep playing in the future. But that's gonna do it for today. For more anime games, check out this video right here. Thanks for watching. Bye.